All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Amanda Snyder. I am one of the account executives with PHEAA. We will go ahead and give it just a minute to let more people join, and then we will go ahead and get started. All right. Like I said, my name is Amanda. I am joined today by two of my colleagues, Will McGinley and Kim McCurdy. They will be helping by answering questions in the chat. You will receive a copy of today's presentation later on tomorrow, so you don't have to frantically start taking notes. I'm going to turn my camera off just to make sure that we have enough bandwidth today. Just out of curiosity, if everybody can throw in the chat what state you're from. We do have a wide footprint, and we're just kind of curious at where our participants are from. Well, today we're going to talk about searching for scholarships and how to afford the balance. Give me one moment here. All right, so for those of you who don't know, just a little bit about PHEAA, we are the Pennsylvania state agency that provides information on attending and funding higher education. Our mission is to provide affordable access to higher education, and we do that through a lot of different channels. One of the biggest ways is to contribute to the PA state grant program. We also provide low-cost financial aid solutions, whether that be through our student loan programs, PA Forward, and we have other funding opportunities as well. And then we have a lot of information, these webinars and different print materials that are available on our website. So we use our earnings from PA Forward and those other lines of business to supplement that grant program. And we've provided more than $1 billion in public service benefits over the last decade. Just a short disclaimer for everybody out there. This presentation is just general guidance. We're talking about our experience, information that we know as of today. That information always changes. We are happy to answer any, more specific questions that you have. So again, this presentation will be sent out. You'll have our contact information, so you can reach out if you have more specific questions that you want to talk through. So starting off, before we dive, right into all of our scholarship information, we like to just start by, letting everybody know that you want to make a plan. Think about your future. The decisions that you make today are going to impact where you end up. So we like to start by thinking about what path you want to take, what where do you see yourself? What lifestyle do you want after graduation? Do you see yourself in an office setting? Do you see yourself manual labor, working outside, inside? And start to research now and think about what your expected salary is going to be. Where do you need to go to school for that type of job that you're looking for? How much does it cost? And really start thinking about how you're going to pay for that, where that money is going to come from. And one of the websites that we like to offer is mysmartborrowing.org. This is a really good way for you to go in and kind of customize, answer some questions, and get different output to see what's going to work best for you. We like to say, buy an education, not a school. There are many paths to the same degree. So with that, there's also a lot of different ways that you can save. Some of these are obvious, while other ones you might not think of. So one of the ways to save, don't transfer. Again, doing that research up front and knowing what you want to major in, what you want your dream job to be, will really help you know where to go to school so that you don't have to potentially transfer, that you're taking the right amount of classes to help you graduate on time. You can think about, do you have the ability to go to community college and maybe take some gen eds at a little bit of a cheaper price before you transfer to a 4-year degree, if that's your ultimate goal? And one of the other ones, a cheaper meal plan. This was one of my old colleagues who used to say she liked to sleep in. She didn't eat breakfast. So why pay for it? There's different options that you can customize. So really think about the different ways that you can save money up front. And then that also leads us into our different ways to pay. So there are a lot of different ways that you can finance your education. Today, our focus is going to be talking about private scholarships, but you can kind of mix and match. We have the ability to look at federal and state grants. You have work studies, ROTC, tuition reimbursement. Um, on the bottom in yellow, you'll see here you also have credit cards, home equity, 401k. These are definitely ones that you want to be more cautious about. You really want to think about those options before you would actually look at utilizing them. All right, so there are four different types of financial aid. We do have a lot of other webinars that go into these in more detail. There are grants, scholarships, which we're going to talk about today, work study, student loans, which we're also going to get into a little bit about today because that's part of affording the balance. So there's no guarantee that you're going to receive or qualify for free money, but if you don't apply, you're definitely not going to get any. There's a lot of different scholarships that are out there that you might not be aware of that we're going to dive in today. Something that you might not know, 1.7 million scholarships are awarded annually across federal, state, institution, and private sources. And the average scholarship amount per student is currently estimated to be just over $7,800, with a total of 46 billion from Department of Education and 8.2 billion from private sources, according to our most recent statistics. There's three different sources of your scholarships. You're going to have your post-secondary scholarships. So these are going to be the ones that are going to come from your college, university. And there's a lot of different criteria that they look at. One that I like to point out is based on your degree or major. So when you get your acceptance letter with a financial aid package, you're going to see that you're getting a scholarship for maybe nursing. If there's a higher need for that major at that institution, they're going to award you amount based on what you choose to study. And that's really important to remember because, again, if you would decide to change majors, you'll lose that scholarship because the other major department that you're going to might not have that same offer. So it's always important that you look at your college website, talk to admissions, your financial aid offices, and they can kind of let you know at that post-secondary level what options are available. You also have local and regional scholarships. So these are going to be offered by your community organizations. So you want to look at your local library, different local businesses. Google is always going to be a good resource as well. And then lastly, you have your national level scholarships, and we will provide a few examples of those today as well. And again, those vary by source. Google and online search options are a good way to find those. All right. Scholarships are not just based on your GPA. So I think it's important to know that scholarships are offered by a variety of things. I know when I went my freshman year, I was able to get a few $1,000s just because I went to a school that previous family members had attended. So there was like a legacy scholarship there. Depending on your employment, your community service involvement, different talents and characteristics that you have. So again, what you're doing now can set you up for earning that free money in the future. Okay. We like to have you think about creating a profile, a resume about yourself. What you do, what have you done, what makes you you, and really start to document that information. Start to put some time and effort into thinking about your yourself, your talents and what makes you special because there's nobody else out there who is you. You're very unique. What extracurricular activities are you involved in? And then think about getting recommendations, whether it's from your community leaders, employers. Can you add that? You don't have to be the best student. You just have to be the best scholarship applicant. So really take the time and put some energy into creating a resume about yourself. Don't be afraid to recycle. You may be able to reuse essays or the information in essays and just kind of tailor it a little bit. It's always good to have someone that you trust review your content, grammar, spelling. Make sure that you're really answering the question that was asked and make sure that you're answering it well. You want to have a beefy, good context. So here we provide an example of how have you contributed to your community and what have you learned? We have kind of I volunteer at my community center. I learned that I like helping people. And then you can see that there's a better alternative here that just provides a little bit more information. It goes into a little bit more detail. One of the things that I mentioned earlier about PHEAA is that we have free materials online. So you can see here we have the scholarship tip sheet. We have a lot of information that's available that you can kind of grab different tips and stay organized. We have sheets that you can fill out and keep track of the scholarships that you've applied for. And one of the biggest tips is start early. You want to really look at scholarships at least a year before you need the money, if not more. And don't let the name of a scholarship or the amount of a scholarship, oh, $10,000, $20,000. Don't let that discourage you. Again, you don't have to be the best student. You just have to look at what the qualifications are and apply and create that resume that you're looking for. Don't miss deadlines. Really look at what each scholarship application is looking for, when it's due, what they're asking you to submit, and be organized about how you're going to submit that, when you're going to submit that, and getting everything together. Use free scholarship search sites. So be careful of scams. You should never have to pay a fee to apply for a scholarship. You should not have to provide any credit card information. Um, so just be weary of any scholarship that, has guarantees or, they say that there's a lot of unclaimed scholarship money and it's just waiting for you. We're going to look at trusted sources of where you can find, accurate um, scholarship money. So again, this will be sent out to you. So these are different trusted scholarship search sites that we have been on, we have vetted. These are currently active that you can use to apply for scholarships now. You'll see educationplanner.org. This is one of the sites that PHEAA operates. We provide, again, additional scholarship search tips and different activities that you can use to write and, again, stay organized. All right, so these are some of the national scholarships that are out there, and these are ones that you may or may not be aware of. That Taco Bell has a scholarship, Dr. Pepper, Mike Rowe. This is one that specifically for those word is escaping me right now. He's from Dirty Jobs, and I am sorry it's escaping me. But there are a lot of different scholarships that are out there. So you want to take your time and really search for what you're interested in and what your career path looks like. So PHEAA is proud to offer its own scholarship opportunity. Last year, we launched our first applications for 25-26, and we just reopened the upcoming 26-27 academic year in January. So we're currently giving away 12 $2,500 no essay scholarships per program for PA Forward and Keystone student loans. So the winners have to be enrolled or plan to be enrolled as a college student in our upcoming school year. And it's an easy, simple application. You're just opting in to get financial literacy from us through email communication. So we have the links here. If you are planning on being enrolled in school, we definitely encourage you to look into this and submit an application. All right. So one of the big questions, you're awarded a scholarship. Now what happens? Because it can depend on the school, how they handle that. So you do want to talk to your financial aid office. You want to ask them, how do you apply outside scholarships? So there are some schools that may take some of their internal scholarships away if you receive an outside scholarship, because there may be other students that need that where those funds can go to. So it's really important that you talk to the financial aid office and figure out how that's going to be applied. Some scholarships are applied directly to you as the student to help cover costs, while other scholarships are paid to the school directly. So it just depends. All right, so just to wrap that portion up, again, put in the work. It is your education. So take on that responsibility, make the time, really search for what scholarship options are out there and apply, apply, apply. It is never too early to get an idea. Scholarships are not just for freshmen. So if you're already in school, there are some scholarships that are dedicated to upperclassmen. So you never know what's out there until you actually start looking. All right. So now moving into, you have your scholarships, you know where you're going to school, but you have a bill, you have an outstanding amount that needs to be paid. So how do you pay that remaining amount out of pocket? We have kind of a pyramid here that you see from the bottom, those larger options, again, those grants and scholarships, your free money. That's going to be your best option. And then as you work your way up, you look at, do you have family savings that you can use? If not, you can look at doing work study, working while you're in school, putting that money towards the bill. Then you want to look at borrowing. So you always want to start, generally speaking, with your federal subsidized and then unsubsidized loans. And if there's still that balance afterwards, do you look at having the parent take out a loan in their name or potentially private student loans, which used to be, more of a last resort. They are becoming more common now, especially as there's changes that are coming through to those federal programs. In order to look at your eligibility for grants, scholarships, as well as um, state aid, you want to file your FAFSA. So you want to do this by October 1st. It is completely free, hence free application for federal student aid, and you do it at studentaid.gov. And again, this determines your eligibility for all of the aid that your school is going to look at and award you. So this is that first starting point for you. All right. So again, Pennsylvania, we are PHEAA, but other states, again, if you are coming into us from one of these states, these are your websites to look at for your state higher education that may have additional funding opportunities for you to look at. So we definitely encourage you to go to your state's website for additional information that would be more specific to you. All right. So looking at loans, again, as we stated, you want to start with your federal direct you have your subsidized and your unsubsidized loans. So these generally have fixed interest rates. There are going to be some fees that are associated with the federal loan. So you have your parent loan. If your federal direct loan is not going to be enough. And then lastly is that private loan. Again, PHEAA does have private loans, so we'll look at those and talk about some of those options as well. So it's important for us as a state agency that really, again, we want to create affordable access to higher education. We understand that borrowing may be needed, but we want you to really go into it informed and understanding what you're getting yourself into. So if you do choose to borrow, if it's something that you have to do, really only borrow what you need to get through school. And just know that you have to repay your student loans at the end of it. So um, one of the things that is recommended is that you limit your borrowing to your projected future salary, keeping your loan payment to less than 12% of your gross earnings. You want to make sure, again, that you can still afford that lifestyle that you're going to look at. You're still going to have a cell phone bill to pay. You're going to have maybe a car payment, gas to get to work, those kind of things. So you're not looking at just your student loan payment. So really understand what you need to borrow and how you can afford to pay it back. As I mentioned, PHEAA offers Keystone and PA forward student loans. So we have graduate, undergraduate, and parent loans. We offer fixed interest rates, and our loans have no fees. So there's no application fee, no late fee, no origination fee. You can borrow up to 100% of the certified cost of your attendance. So if you need things outside of just your tuition, you can pay for books and housing, different, fees that the school may be charging you. Oh, really proud of our interest rates, but in addition to having already low interest rates, we offer several different reductions as well. So just for graduating, you're going to get a 0.5% interest rate reduction. And if you were to decide to enroll in direct debit, you could also get another 0.25% interest rate reduction. We offer cosigner release, and there's a lot of different repayment options available as well. All right. Again, you will get a copy of this, so you don't need to write these down, but these are some really good websites and resources for you to start looking at. Again, studentaid.gov is where you're going to file that FAFSA. PHEAA.org will give you information about our PA state program and other funding opportunities that we have. You want to look at your state's 529 program. And then these other three websites, Education Planner, My Smart Borrowing, and You Can Deal With It, are all operated by PHEAA as well and have a lot of different resources to compare college costs and look at what you want to do, what you want to major in, what your projected earned income could look like. So these are really good resources for you to start understanding and preparing and kind of looking ahead. All right. And lastly, if you have a lot of different social channels, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. We also have an Instagram, YouTube, podcasts. You can find us online. So please follow us. We do put a lot of information out there. We have additional webinars that you can sign up for, just like you did sign up for this one as well. So we would encourage you to follow as, things continue to change and we put information out there. All right, how are we looking in the chat? Did we answer all of the questions?
Yeah,
So far?
it seems to be trucking along.
Okay.
They'd like to hear more about some of the additional webinars that are coming up.
Yeah, so PHEAA.org/virtual. I know we have a kind of deep dive into repaying for college that is coming up in March, an advanced planning one coming up as well. So looking at kind of early planning for middle school and early high school. Well, Kim, do you guys remember trying to think of what the schedule is?
Yeah, no, that's those are the main ones that are coming up. But
Mhm.
again, we posted in Kim posted in the chat PHEAA.org/virtual, and that actually has our upcoming webinars, and it actually has recordings of some of our past webinars as well.
Yes.
So feel free to go out there and kind of look through those to see if something that we didn't mention might spark an interest, and you can end up listening to one of our past ones. But we do have financially timeline and those types of things coming up soon, and as well as understanding offer letters. So those are things
Yes.
that we can end up, talking to you hopefully soon. But if not, we do have past ones that have been put out there that you can kind of peruse at your own pace. So again, just trying to make sure that we
Yep.
cover all our bases with all this.
Yep. All right. And again, tomorrow I will be sending out a copy of this presentation. So you will have links to all of the websites and the resources that we covered. So keep an eye out for that. All right. Thank you all. We hope you have a good evening.
Yep, thank you.